about Caitlyn? Is she going to be ready for tomorrow?
Oh, not for tomorrow, no.
We don't want to gas her. We don't want to fatigue her. We don't want her to get into some bad.
When I'm, looking at all these things that people are talking about with Caitlyn Clark, it's like, guys, chill out. Like, she's gonna be fine.
Caitlyn starting full court running last week. Has she been able to do anything extra since then or return to practice at all?
No return to practice.
What if I told you that the WNBA has been lying about their biggest star's recovery status? Shocking, right? The WNBA just got caught red-handed. They thought they could mislead fans, but they were wrong.
Clark's injury, because I feel like it is getting stranger by the day. It has been a month now that Caitlyn has been out, and we still don't know when she will be returning to.
There's something the WNBA desperately doesn't want you to know about Caitlyn Clark's situation, but everything is getting exposed now. The league is in absolute panic mode, and the numbers don't lie.
This Caitlyn Clark injury, it was the final ingredient for the perfect storm. This injury gave the WNBA the data they need to prove that pretend basketball is 100% reliant on one player. The problem is,
the viewership is crashing. Fans were there to watch her play, but no Clark means no viewers and no ratings. And the worst thing is that through all this time, the WNBA has been lying about her status, and now we have proof to their deception.
Clark is still dealing with a groin injury. Think she's out for the rest of the season? When teams are generally vague with timelines for a player's return, it normally means the player is nowhere close to ready.
What actually happened? Where did it all start? What is going to be the future of WNBA? For all the answers, stay tuned, because this video will reveal each and everything with facts, figures, and evidence. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why the entire league is in complete panic. And if you think the WNBA should stop exploiting Caitlyn Clark, drop a Protect CC in the comments below. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Last month, Caitlyn Clark suffered a severe groin injury and was out. But the WNBA knew that Clark brings all the viewership, and if they tell this to the fans that she's out for a long time, the viewership might dip.
Player was not playing. The ticket sales dropped. The ticket price dropped 50%. One player did not play in the All-Star game. The viewership dropped by 40%. Those are the facts. And people have been fed up with what the WNBA is doing.
So they began playing fans for fools in the most twisted way possible. First, they listed Clark's injury as day-to-day, but then out of nowhere, she was listed as out indefinitely. This news was already hard to digest for the fans. The wait was absolutely torturous. So ESPN circled August 12th as her return date. And then, just yesterday, she was listed as a game-time decision for the Dallas Wings game. You heard that right? A game-time decision. But here's where this story takes a shocking turn. Just after the practice, the head coach Stephanie White, the biggest liar out there, came out and said Caitlyn Clark hasn't even been practicing with the team.
Caitlyn starting full court running last week. Has she been able to do anything extra since then or return to practice at all?
No return to practice. She's been able to get a little bit more in her full court running, with all her body weight. It's really building up from doing minimal to then building some endurance to do longer periods of time. She's been able to do a little bit more on the court in terms of how she moves, but not into practice yet.
Like, are you kidding me? How do you list someone as a game-time decision when they haven't even touched a basketball in practice? This is when you know that their return timeline was a calculated deception. But wait, it gets even worse. Beat reporter Scott Agnes, who covers the Indiana Fever religiously, dropped an absolutely nuclear bombshell in the comments section. When someone asked about Caitlyn's return, he said, have patience, at least several more weeks.
Scott Agnes replied, and he said, have patience, at least several more weeks.
Several more weeks? This changes everything. That puts her return at the very end of the regular season, if at all. The Indiana Fever only have 12 games left with exactly 4 weeks remaining. If Agnes is right, and he's the most plugged-in reporter covering this team, we might not see Clark back on the court this season.
Should do. And unfortunately, I'm starting to get this gut feeling that we might not even see Caitlyn back on the court this season, and that might actually be the best thing for her.
The truth is earth-shattering. The WNBA has been lying about her timeline to keep fans engaged and ticket sales flowing.
There was plenty of people I saw online who said, yo, Caitlyn Clark not playing. Oh, she's hurt and they don't want to call fouls. Okay, I'm not giving them a view. I'm not gonna watch. There was plenty of people that
The WNBA thought that fooling us would be quite easy. They underestimated their own fans completely. But here's the kicker. Fans saw right through this thinly veiled manipulation. Social media is exploding with evidence of their desperation. And numbers back it all.
Boycott. Well, you know the old saying, men lie, women lie, and the numbers don't. This is a case of the numbers not lying. Guys, let's head on over to...
The Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever matchup used to be the league's golden ticket. The first time these teams played this season hit 2.7 million views on ABC. That was UP 115% from last year's season average. The officials were happy, thinking they'd hit the jackpot. But after Clark was benched, the views drastically decreased. Second matchup, 1.92 million viewers, first warning sign. Third matchup, 1.5 million, the alarm bells rang. And the fourth matchup was the final nail in the coffin. It had only 1.3 million viewers. That's a drop of 1.4 million viewers.
Over 500,000 people said, I'm not even coming back without Caitlyn Clark. I'm not even checking this out. We've lost 1.4 million viewers on these games since the season started.
That's massive. That's huge. Over 500,000 people said, I am not watching if there is no Caitlyn Clark.
WNBA All-Star Game viewership is at 2.9 million views, bro, on ABC. Down 36% from last year. Nearly half.
Even on Twitter, fans are expressing their hearts out. One fan said, no CC, no watch. The WNBA is nothing without her. And honestly, he is absolutely right, and numbers prove it. And the most embarrassing evidence is that the All-Star Game was a disaster this year.
The numbers are in, and just like I told you, there was a boycott. So for all the people that thought that it wasn't a boycott against this All-Star Game, it was, bro. People was just DMing me, telling me that they weren't going to look at it. People was telling me that they refunded their tickets.
It showed just how much the league depends on Caitlyn Clark. Last year with Caitlyn Clark, it pulled a viewership of 3.4 million. And this year it saw a decrease of 36%.
Oh, Jolly, it was going to be horrible. Caitlyn Clark wasn't playing, it was over.
That is such a shameful thing to admit. And what can you expect from WNBA? It tried to hide this, cover it up. And what they did was to compare the numbers to 2023 instead of 2024. They said viewership was up 158% from 2023, ignoring the massive drop from last year when Caitlyn actually played. This is not a cover-up. This is calculated deception.
I'm telling you right now, without Caitlyn Clark having basketball in hand, shooting logo threes, the numbers was significantly impacted, bro. She's Michael Jeffrey Jordan 2.0.
The WNBA is sitting on a gold mine right now, and they know it very well. They're trying their hard to exploit every penny from it, and their exploitation, their deception, culminated when they started lying about her recovery status.
And if you look at the Indiana Fever's schedule right now, they only have 12 games left, and there is exactly 4 weeks left in the regular season.
It's like, how could you even do that? Dude, just leave something behind. They are literally dangling Caitlyn Clark's potential return like a carrot in front of fans' faces. They keep her listed as game time decision even when she hasn't practiced. Doing all this just to boost ticket sales, just to keep viewership hopes alive. But the unfortunate truth is she's not yet ready to return.
You had not just the fact that she's the face and the biggest brand in the game, and you want to make this game global, she had better numbers than a lot of the people that made that team. It just is what it is.
This franchise has the potential to be the first ever WNBA team valued at over $1 billion. Caitlyn Clark isn't just a basketball player, she is a phenomenon. She single-handedly made the Indiana Fever relevant, gave them millions of fans, and made them the most watched team in the WNBA.
Talent who's not only generational because of her skill on the court, but also what she has brought to an entire league. The amount of eyeballs, money, everything.
But what is WNBA doing in return? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, their greed is destroying her. We are unfortunately witnessing a superstar potentially getting wasted in her prime years under incompetent management. Caitlyn Clark has been dealing with injury after injury all season. She hasn't been fully healthy for any game this season. But here's what's really happening. Clark recently revealed she's arriving at the arena 4 hours early compared to her teammates, doing more than everybody else.
I'm there like 4 hours early.
This clearly shows she was overworked. She is now battling injuries because the WNBA was exploiting her work ethic. Instead of being honest about her recovery timeline and protecting their biggest investment, they've been misleading fans about when she'll return while lying about her recovery progress to keep the money flowing.
Caitlyn Clark has been out a month and 1.
So this is the situation right now. WNBA's lies are completely exposed. Millions of fans are gone. Viewership crashed. Everything has changed, but one thing remains. WNBA's lies. They still keep lying about Caitlyn Clark's return. They keep deceiving their fans just to keep the money flowing. This is what pure greed looks like.
If you're the WNBA, you cannot afford a strike. You cannot afford a canceled season. This league doesn't have enough of a dedicated fan base to survive a canceled season.
Caitlyn Clark deserves better. The fans deserve honesty, and the WNBA needs to be held accountable for this massive deception. What do you think about the WNBA's lies? Let me know in the comments below. Should the WNBA be held accountable? Should the government step in and take action? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more explosive WNBA videos.